Wow, that's sixth graders playing the sophisticated game of big time basketball. The Fierce against the Force yesterday for the inaugural Harvey Hale Invitational Championship game. Fast, handle the ball well. They played defense, believe it or not, after what you saw there. But that's our introduction because there's a young man on that court yesterday that belongs to this famous guy, A.J. Bramlett. First saw him at La Cueva High School back in the early 90s. And then from being an all-stater 2, 3 years in a row, then moved on to play at the University of Arizona, the national champions, where he was the top rebounder in the country, an All-American, and played for Lute Olson. They won the NCAA Final Four, and it seemed like yesterday. A.J. Bramlett with us today. What an honor. I saw him yesterday, little Drew, his son, running all over that floor, and I never saw A.J. Bramlett. He's always smiling, but he had a great big smile on yesterday. A.J. Henry T., how are you?
Henry, I'm doing great, man. How are you this morning? It's good to be here with you.
He's still wearing that smile. Those kids can play, AJ.
Yeah, they really can. I mean, it was just a fun, really fun game to see kids out there being able to play in general. After the year that we've had, is just something special. And anytime that Dion hit the big buzzer beater to win the tournament, those are just moments that those guys will never forget. So it's always great to see them out there playing and competing.
That's a good point. Early on in your career, you had great video, you had great audio, you had moments in time that were a catalyst for making you feel confident, making you feel good. Did that really help you later on in your years?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you can, be put in a position where you have to either do well or fail or take a shot, at the end of the game and risk making it or missing it. And, sometimes, a lot of times you don't make those shots, but when you do, it really just is a confidence builder. And even having the confidence to take the shot in the first place, builds your confidence, especially as young guys. And so, young guys and girls that are out there playing, the game is a beautiful game. And, when it's played right, you see your kids out there competing at the highest level and, trying and having fun most of all, it just makes me happy, man. So I had those experiences growing up, playing with like New Mexico Flight back in the day. And now, my son's getting that opportunity, playing his AAU ball now, which is awesome.
You know, I'll never forget a night where I produced the game, and I'll never forget it. It was A.J. Bramlett against Kenny Thomas, Albuquerque High against La Cueva on this statewide television game. Everybody was watching, everybody was recording, and it meant so much because even though that game was big on TV, it was one in the whole season. Today, the kids are blessed with every game on TV. Do you recall that special game with the Bulldogs against Kenny?
Oh yeah, man. I just remember Chris Gonzalez and I were driving up to the gym, and it was early, and the C team game, was about to start. And there was already, a line of people outside. We're like, oh, this is different. So remember going in, and it's just a packed gym. From all the C team kids were all nervous playing in front of a big crowd, and just the energy and the electricity in that gym. Was something you'll never forget. So it was an amazing experience. Kenny and I still joke about it, now. And for us to be, high school guys and have, put on a big stage like that to compete, something I'll never forget. It was, obviously we lost that first game. I think I got a couple stitches under the eye, And still have that right here. So still got a lasting memory from Kenny on that one. But it was just great. High school basketball at that time was amazing, and people like really shining a bright light on it. And being on TV back then, like you said, it just didn't happen very often. So for us in the middle of a week to be in a prime time game, it was something super special for all of us.
Wow. And your lineup was second to none in quality, in ability, excitement, the skills. And Albuquerque High the same way. And there were some good teams back then. My son played at Sandia.
Yeah.
It was one night, it was you scored, and then Aaron scored, and you had like 45, and I think he had 40. It was a phenomenal back and forth game. And for a dad, that was a major thrill. And I'll never forget it. Now, yesterday, you were a dad smiling from ear to ear because your son was out there. Little Drew can really play, AJ.
No, I appreciate it, man. He works at it. He's got obviously the love of the game, and anytime you can find something for your kids that they enjoy doing, that they want to put time and effort into, it's a special thing. And, obviously, I enjoy working with him, and he enjoys playing with his friends, competing. And yesterday you get that situation where it's the end of the game, you got to make the right play. He found Dion, and Dion stepped up big and hit a knockdown at the buzzer. And you don't get a lot of opportunities like that in your career. I think I've had maybe 3 or 4, over all the years that I played. And so when those things happen, it's just special and exciting. And the fun that those guys were having after the game was something that they're never going to forget. So it was cool.
What was he like in the car on the way home? What was he like at home after having the adrenaline rush and a last-second victory like that?
Oh, he was excited. It was just a hard-fought weekend. He was a little sore from all the games played, but he's been getting back after it. After the whole COVID layoff, and he's happy to be back on the court and just being able to be out there with his friends and having a good time. So, it was a fun weekend. Look to do more of it now that things are opening back up a little bit more. And seeing all these kids out there just being able to compete makes me happy as we're back to some kind of normal.
AJ, I think back when you were a La Cueva Bear, all of a sudden there's a 6'10" guy on the Bears roster, and we're all, wow, look at this guy. Where did he come from? Where did you come from?
I was already here. I moved to Albuquerque when I was in 5th grade. And so I went to Hubert Humphrey Elementary, and then I went to Eisenhower Middle School, and then on to La Cueva. But I played summer basketball in Chicago area where my dad lives, and so every summer I'd be up there with him until like the last year where I played with New Mexico Flight, played some AAU ball here. So I think that's when we kind of got more recognized, and got our name on the board.
Yeah, and I wasn't really alluding to you being a stranger. I'm alluding to the growth. All of a sudden, this normal sized kid is 6'10". Wow.
That's my parents. You can thank them for that. My dad's 6'5". My mom is almost 6 foot. So, and I have a tall family on both sides of the family. So it was just genes.
And you came with skills, well coordinated. You had an arsenal of weapons, and you played defense. You were the total package. All of a sudden, 6'10", but you were coordinated, and you could play both sides of the floor. How about your development as a kid?
Yeah, I mean I was blessed to play for good coaches, and be around, influence that taught me to play on both sides of the court, play all positions. Didn't really box me in, even though I was a big man back then. And guys played under the basket mostly, which I did. It still allowed me to develop as handling the ball and passing and doing other things, on both sides of the court, which helped me, my development as I got to college and played professional after that. Yeah, if you have to be able to do everything, and on different teams, you're gonna have a different role a lot of times. So you got to be able to fit into all these different roles to make sure that you're successful and you can help your team win, whatever that is they need from you.
You played for the winningest local high school coach of all time, Frank Castillo. Nobody's had more wins as a coach. What a nice man. Just all around nice guy who knew the game of basketball. How did Coach Castillo help your development?
Oh, coach was wonderful. I mean, obviously his history speaks for itself, like you said, the number of wins, but more of the impact that he had on young men over all these years. And, he's put so many good human beings out into the world, as well as basketball players. And that's a big part of his legacy as well. And coach, he did it for so many years. He's a great example for high school coaches across the state. And, he supported me. He put me, let me grow, through all my years at La Cueva. He encouraged me. He took good care of me with talking to coaches and everything. And so, and I got a chance to coach with him, after I came back from playing overseas for a couple of years, which showed me a different side of coach then too. Being able to, work with him on game planning, and we had a good run in the state tournament the 2 years I was there with him. And I'm just happy that he's enjoying the good life now. He's retired, and he deserves it because he put in a ton of work and did a wonderful job for all these years. So he's a great man.
Well, to get offered a scholarship by Lute Olson, wow, is all I can say, especially those players that he also recruited besides you. When you got to Arizona, did you know that program and that team was going to be extra special?
Well, it's Arizona. You know what I mean? It's Coach Olson. Like if a Hall of Fame coach comes and asks you to come, play for him, I knew it was going to be extremely high level. And my freshman year, I didn't play a ton. We had a really good team. Senior late team. We lost in the Sweet 16 that year, but I got beat up by guys like Ben Davis and Joseph Blair, who were both NBA guys. So I learned the ropes that first year and really just got beat up in practice by those big old guys, and they taught me how to play. What Coach Olson needed from me. And then the next year, I knew that Mike Bibby was coming the following year. And Coach Olson, that was a big selling point of his, was that, we got the top point guard in the nation coming, your sophomore year. And I think we have a chance to be really good. And when Mike showed up and we had that group of guys, that was definitely a turning point there. And, we had an amazing run.
Wow. When you're on a program, on a team like that, and every game you played on your home court was overflowing, no seats left. Everywhere you went, period, there was a overflow crowd. Everybody wanted to see the Wildcats because you're top 5 team all year long, top ranked, and man, the exposure, the recognition that your guys got. I mean, every day you take a walk, there's a camera. Every day you do anything, you're getting recognition. You're never alone. What's that like being so popular?
Well, that's nice of you, Henry. But I think, it's a responsibility, really. In Arizona, when you get there, they kind of talk to you about that as, you have to, all eyes are going to be on you at all times. So you have to carry yourself in a professional manner, really represent the program well. And, it was a lot different back then. I don't know how kids, do it now, where there's, cell phones everywhere, and, there's much more greater access to people. It wasn't that way when I was there in Arizona, so it was a little bit different. But yeah, like you said, taking everybody's best shot, definitely. I mean, even on the road games, it was. But that's fun. That's what you want. You want to be able to compete in those kind of situations with the whole, the visitors crowd yelling at you the whole game, and the energy in the gym. And we had a ton of games like that. That's why I went to Arizona, and Coach Olson, provided those opportunities for us to shine on a big stage, which was awesome.
and you were the leading rebounder in the country and All-American status, and you get into the NCAA tournament and you start winning one win after another. Now you're in the Final Four. Man, that's got to be a time you'll never, ever forget.
Well, I mean, as a kid, that's what you dream about, right? When you're watching the tournaments growing up, and then you actually get an opportunity, to play in the Final Four in a national championship. It's something that you dream about. And so, not only how fun it was for us as players, but as fun as an experience it was for our families and everyone around us and everyone around the country, to be able to follow the run. Was something special. Everyone looks back at it as just a fun time in their life, which is always good to reflect on. And every year the tournament comes back around, and then every year you get to enjoy it kind of a little bit more every year. So it was an amazing run.
How about versus Kentucky? Does that makes it extra special?
Absolutely, that was it. That was the greatest thing. In my opinion, about our team is that we beat 3 number 1 seeds. No one had ever beat 3 number 1 seeds in the tournament before, which were Kansas, North Carolina, and Kentucky. And so, we ran through all of them. So can't say we got lucky or we did this or that. We got the opportunity to play them and we're able to pull it out. So it's definitely special.
One thing that we might even take for granted because we read the headlines, we're watching ESPN, but there is a quiet time and all that exciting time that you got to get really focused on your studies, reading the books, writing papers. I mean, how do you manage your time when you're a big time athlete like that? How did you do it, AJ?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I mean that's talking about kids and growing up. You got to take care of your studies first. I mean, school is the thing that's going to give you access to be able to play at the next level, or play in college, or even play in high school. You always got to take care of your grades, and I was taught that at an early age, by my family. And then at Arizona, it was always a focus. I mean, going to class and getting good grades was expected in the program, and so they did a good job of providing us, opportunities to have that downtime, like you said, and be able to focus on school. But during the NCAA tournament, it was tough because you're flying all over the place. You're back for a couple days, but the expectations didn't drop. So you just had to figure it out. And, you had to take time where maybe your friends were going to hang out. You couldn't do that. You had to take care of your school, make sure that you were on track and everything was good. And, luckily, I was able to do that and have a good career academically and, athletically there.
But, you may have to play Friday and Saturday. You're flying back Sunday. And no matter how big a star you are, that professor wants that paper done on Monday morning by 9 o'clock. And if you don't have that paper ready, what are the consequences?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you don't take care of your grades, you don't play. And so, and that was a staple of our program. It wasn't even if you were eligible. It was that you had to excel and be doing well in your classes. And so, they checked on classes. Our coaches would come around, make sure guys were in class, come do their class check, and keep us in line and help us and assist us in being able to be successful both on and off the court. So I really thank our coaches for that. Coach Olson obviously, and Coach Rosborough, Coach Evans, and Coach Johnson when I was there. All those guys played a huge part of my development.
Yeah, here comes this guy down the ramp at Arizona. Lute Olson, always looking spiffy, hair always combed. Man, the hygiene look of anybody. There's your role model right there, Lute Olson. He put the pressure on you guys on how to look, how to dress, and I always have to have that certain flair of quality. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. And Coach O also always looked amazing. And so I tell the story sometimes when we, after we won the championship, we got the opportunity to go to the White House and visit the White House and Bill Clinton was the president at the time, and we were in one of the rooms at the White House, and he took a picture there with everyone on the team. And if you look at the picture, Coach Olson, if you asked who the president was, I think you would look at Coach Olson and say, Coach Olson was the president. Bill Clinton was his vice president. He looked so stately up there. So Coach O was always dressed immaculately, and he just was the personification of class.
Amen. You played with some quality players. How many of your starting five got to go to the NBA? All five?
So we had Mike Bibby, obviously, he was the second pick in the draft. Miles Simon went in the second round. Michael Dickerson was, I think, 13 or 15 in the NBA draft. And then Bennett Davison was our other starter, and then myself. And I was the second round 39th pick. And Bennett, he had some tryouts in the NBA, but ended up playing, like 14 years in Italy and all over Europe in high-level EuroLeague competition. So all of us got an opportunity to play professionally, and that's credit to Coach Olson, the program that he run. Credit to Coach Castillo from my end, and on at the high school level of just building and putting out players who were able to make a living actually playing basketball for a long time. So it was a great opportunity.
People say about you that you got to have a little luck when you're drafted. You got to get drafted by the right team at the right time. And some teams will get you, but maybe they didn't have really a need for you as badly as another team needed you. And then you get a little lost in the shuffle. Did that happen to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I was picked 39th by the Cleveland Cavaliers. At that time, they didn't have a head coach. Wayne Embry, who was one of the, greatest, management guys in the league, was the one that drafted me. And as soon as he drafted me, he left and went to the Toronto Raptors. So, but still, it was a great experience. I played in the NBA. I got my opportunity, and I learned a lot from that experience, and got to say that, hey, I played in the NBA, and got to live my lifelong dream. And then, I left the NBA after that year and played overseas, for the rest of my professional career, and that was just a totally different, but an amazing experience that developed me as both a person and as a player.
How did the money then, after your senior year, that year, 1997, compare in money today when kids are coming out of college today? Is there a significant difference in the signing bonus?
Yeah, there's a big difference. I mean, obviously, with the growth of the league from where it was, in '99 to where it is now, guys are making a lot more money, but it was still good money. I mean, obviously, it's your first job, coming out of college, and it was a great experience for me. Financially, it was good, but also just being able to compete against those guys every day, even in practice, was just you just learn how to be a professional and learn that it kind of changes, once you get from college to the pros. College is kind of like a business, but once you get to the pros, I mean, it's strictly business. Like it's just like a job, and so you got to focus on that, every day and try to get better. And I thought that it helped me definitely in my development as a player, to be there for that time. But I also enjoyed, going overseas and playing that type of ball too.
Wow, you look so happy. I was watching you yesterday. The thing about life, you got to be happy in our life. What makes you smile so often, AJ? You lead the league in smiles right now, man.
Hey, you got to be positive, man. You know what I mean? That's how I live my life every day. I mean, try to help people, try to uplift people, and enjoy it. I mean, we're here. We might as well have fun while we're doing it, man. And every time I get to see my son play, or I'm around my family, I'm going to be smiling. So I just try to put positivity out there, and help people as I can, and try to help them achieve their dreams if it's through a basketball, standpoint. But in general, just go through your day being a nice person, trying to help people.
Amen. What are you doing today? We're all curious.
So I work with the New Mexico Activities Association. I work for a company called Play Fly Sports, and I do all the business development and sponsorship development for the NMAA. So, it's great. I love it. I get to stay around high school sports, stay involved in the community. Also part of the ALS Association board here. My former coach Dean Pino very well. Uh, Coach Pino's had ALS for over 10 years, so got involved with that organization, trying to raise money to support ALS research, and then just raising my kids and having a good time, man. Having a good time.
Amen. AJ, when we get through our high school time, our collegiate years, and all of that, you got to buckle down on being a provider for the family. There's a maturity level that you reach there that your priorities have changed, but you're either ready for that challenge or you're not. What got you ready to be a dad, to be a husband, to be so responsible right now?
Well, I mean, I don't think you're ever ready to be a dad until you are. Until you think you may be, but you're just not until the little guy shows up or little girl. So, I learned on the fly, but I had great parents growing up, so I had good examples. And you're right. When you have kids, it just changes your whole mindset and the way that you operate, the things that you focus on, the things that are important to you, and you're responsible for developing another little human and try to give them the best opportunity to be successful, support them, let them fail, pick them back up. And, that's the joy of it is you got to enjoy the experience. And, it's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but you just got to instill that confidence in your kids and make them feel like they can, run through a wall. And if they fall down, they can get back up, dust themselves off, and move on to the next thing. So that's the fun job of being a father. And, I enjoy it. I got great kids.
Yeah. Well, yesterday I observed that part of you. That's the new AJ, and you do that role very impressively. It seems like you really enjoy your life as it's happening today. Is that accurate?
That is true. That is true, man. Everything's good. I'm happy. The state that our state is in now, all of us have had a tough year over the last year, due to everything going on with COVID. And, now I think just to see people out having fun, happy with each other makes me happy. So, and especially the kids out there being able to run around and compete, which is awesome.
Social media. If you would have had it back when you were at La Cueva, or if you would have had it at Arizona, what would have been the difference? What would have been the change? What is social media when you're that popular and doing all those, man, big time activities? AJ.
I mean, can you hear me, Henry?
There you go.
Okay, I don't know why my video is frozen. It looks like.
Am I frozen too?
I can see you. You're moving, but I'm not moving. I don't know why. But if you can hear me.
Don't worry about it. That's
all right.
Social media. How has it changed athletics, athletes?
Well, that's what I said earlier is I don't, it's tough. Social media is it's both a positive and a negative thing. So, I think having access to information and, be able to express yourself over social media is a good thing, but, you just have to balance it because, your value shouldn't come from social media. And I think sometimes kids can get wrapped up in that. And, you just got to be able to, focus on things that you can control and, use social media for positive, fun things and stay away from all the negativity.
Yeah. And I'm sure it can get extremely positive and fun, but there are people out there that like to tear those of you who are successful, tear you down. The rivalries out there, even across the country. I don't know. because I've never been involved in social media like you guys are. But it's made it today. You're moving around again.
There we
Yay.
go. There we go. Fixed it.
What do you see the role as athletes changing because of the exposure through social media?
Well, I think, like I said, like at the high school level, it should be all for fun. But once you get onto college and professional, obviously you've seen people be able to influence people in a positive manner through social media, and it's a great tool. Obviously, to distribute your message, and so kids nowadays are building up their following before they even get to college, and so that just gives them an opportunity, to take advantage of that when the time comes from a business perspective, and in the meantime, just be able to promote themselves and focus on things that they like to do and let the world know what they enjoy.
You were double figures um, offensively and defensively in Arizona. You could put the ball in the hole, but man, I tell you what, you were on those defensive and offensive boards like nobody else in the country. That's where you got the honor of being the top rebounder in the nation. What is rebounding to you? I mean, it sounds like a rhetorical question because we know what it is, but how do you do it so well?
It's all desire. Rebounding is a game of positioning and then just effort. And wanting to get the ball more than your opponent. And so, it doesn't matter what size you are, or if you're the biggest guy, obviously it's a little bit easier. But it's really about just your heart. Going to fight for that ball and claiming that it's yours. So that was just part of the game that I really loved, and I think it's an important part of every game. Is if you win rebounding and you play pretty good defense, you probably have a good shot to win. So it's the things that I focused on. On different teams, I had different roles. Like I said, a little bit earlier, some roles to score. Our Arizona team was more, to command the defense and rebound because we had scorers. So, but rebounding, I still love it to this day. So I try to, push that on to the younger generation as well, how important it is.
What was your highest scoring night that you can recall back in the day?
Uh, I don't know, man. Depends. I think in high school it was 37 against Valley. I remember that one. And then, overseas, I had some, pretty big time scoring games. But putting the ball in the hole is always fun. It always feels good when you see a basket go through. And all those nights when you're hot, you could feel like everything is going to go in. Those don't happen all the time, but when they do, and it's fun.
Well, every possession you can give your team, the more advantageous it's going to be for your team on that night. So, one more rebound, you keep the ball. One more rebound, you take the ball away. So, it just goes to figure the more times you guys have the ball, you have a chance to win the game. But it was rugged. It was not an easy task. I say it like it's a walk in the park, rebounding. But how tough is it at that level?
Yeah, I mean, you're playing against, huge guys. I was kind of undersized for a center as far as, my weight, and I was tall, but not the biggest guy in the world from a muscular standpoint. So, really have to be, use your speed and quickness and kind of know where the ball's going to come off of the rim. Coach Olson taught a lot of, tricks and of the trade that we could use to do that and get offensive rebounds. And so it was, but really, just like I said, just desire. It's just you want it more than the other guy, and you're going to go get it, and whatever that takes to do it, you're going to do. And we did a good job of that. Definitely at Arizona, we were a very good rebounding team.
A coach like Coach Olson, successful at Iowa, goes to Arizona. It's like he never skipped a beat wherever he went. Well, how effective was he? How effective was he with you?
No, he was amazing. I mean, the thing that Coach Olson, number one thing that he paid attention to were details. And he made, if we were in the wrong position or just not in the right spot of the court, he would stop every time. It didn't matter if it was in the middle of practice. in a game and a walkthrough before the game. He wanted things done the way he wanted them done, and so he really had to pay attention to every single detail. And when you do that, you're able to improve, at a really fast rate. And so all of us developed, and our games grew, just from being held to a high standard by Coach Olson, and obviously his teaching and teaching the right way to play the game, and the right way to execute offense and defense, but really just holding us to the standard of we're going to try to do things perfectly as much as we can, and not take any shortcuts, and play as hard as you can, every single minute that you're on the court. And that's a good mix for success. He brought that, when he was at Iowa, he had teams that did that. And obviously when he was at Arizona and he was at Long Beach State too, they all played that way because it was a reflection of him and what he expected.
Now, the toughest questions of the day. Man, the Lobos were good at that time. They had talent. They had Kenny. If they would have had A.J. Bramlett, high-low post, did they try to recruit A.J. Bramlett?
Yeah, of course. I mean, my last two choices were down to New Mexico or Arizona. And, I think, Kenny did a wonderful job at UNM. He had an amazing career. Would have been fun to play with him. But I always liked Arizona. I wanted to go away for college and try something new and go out on my own and see if I could make it. I knew that Coach Olson would run a tough program. I wasn't guaranteed any playing time or anything like that. I knew I'd have to work for it. And I just wanted a challenge. So I chose Arizona, worked out great for me. And New Mexico worked out great for Kenny. And so, we were both successful. We both played together, obviously, with the AAU ball growing up. And it would have been fun to play together, but our careers worked out well for each of us, which is awesome.
Yeah, amen. Now, Coach Bliss, right? Was he the Lobo coach?
He was.
Yeah. If it's not too private, what did he tell you? We got a place for you, AJ. Don't go over there. Stay home.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and there was a lot of pressure to stay home. I thought about staying. I mean, I was close to picking the Lobos, but like I said, Arizona and Coach Olson was just too big of a draw. And so, I loved getting the opportunity to play for Coach O. It was nice to be obviously recruited by your local team, and but they were good then. They were good without me there too. So it was just a good era of basketball all around, and being able Kenny and I to compete against each other in high school and then in college was something really special, I think, for both of us too.
Amen. Well, when you're a national champion, that lives forever. Everybody, the banners at Arizona. Give me the name of the gym. I should have it right there.
Yeah, the McHale Center.
Wow. And I remember Coach Snowden was there back in the day.
That's right.
That place jumps. That place is loud. It's always, I mean, I never see it any other way. It's always packed. The tradition there at Arizona, amazing. But once you're a national champion, it seems like you're always the national champion. And I think the crowds to this day will back that up. Whether, I mean, they were national champions here in the last 2 years, irrelevant. The atmosphere is always national championship there, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I think one thing that I'm so proud of was that I was a part of the team that got Coach Olson his first championship, and so that just has repercussions and ripples that keep, like you said, just keep building over time, and so the program just keeps to being able to expand and grow. And the fan support is similar to here. I mean, the fan support at the pit. You say that McHale's loud, but there's nothing louder than the pit. Playing at both, and hopefully, New Mexico is on the way up now too, and Arizona's starting a new era, and hopefully both teams have success because when the Lobos are good here, the city is awesome. The city's on fire, and we looking forward to it getting back to be that way soon.
Do you think it will rise again?
I do. I do. I think Coach Pitino is going to do a great job. I think it's going to be a new era, and I think the fans are ready for that. And like I said, it's just the city is more fun when the Lobos are doing well. So I'm looking forward to them, being on the upswing again.
I noticed yesterday, I could hardly wait to ask you all these questions as I've gone through them through the night. Um, we don't have a whole lot more time to go, but you seem, I reiterate this because you seem so happy, so involved. And I thought, hey, maybe AJ wants to get back into coaching. I mean, serious coaching, collegiate level coaching. If they offered you the job, Coach Pitino comes and said, man, I need you to coach the big men. Come on, AJ. We're not getting rebounds. We're not doing these big things down low. What would it take for them to take you away from what you're doing today? Is it possible that Coach Pitino in the near future could invite you to be on his staff?
I don't know about that. I think he's done a good job so far with his hires. The reason why I haven't, pursued college coaching too much is because, of just what you saw yesterday was me being able to be, at my kids' games, be with my family, and when you're coaching, it's a 24-hour job, man, every single day, all year long, and so being able to have some of that free time and more time with my kids while they're growing up, and going through high school is the most important thing. And so, I'm enjoying being able to have the opportunity to do that. Obviously, coaching at the collegiate level is something extremely special. Um, but I'm happy with what I'm doing now and what's where my life stands at the moment. Yes, sir. But college coaching would be an amazing thing.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't say yes, he didn't say no, but the door's still open for AJ to possibly take an invitation from Coach Pitino one of these days. And it would not surprise me because it looks so natural to you teaching the game as you were teaching your son Drew yesterday.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I just being able to, kind of impart some of the stuff that I've learned over all the years, and see him trying to do some of that stuff out there and teach me other things that I don't even I haven't known yet. He's just it's just fun to watch the development, and when you're putting your effort and your energy into kids and helping them build their confidence, and you see their confidence grow. I mean, there's no better feeling than that. So just continue with that. Put good opportunities out there for you to develop and the players to develop, and hopefully they have fun and learn and grow as human beings. So when they're out there in the world, they can be solid citizens.
I bet little Drew is like a sponge. It all sinks in. You can't give him enough information. And he seems so proud that AJ Bramlett is his dad. Wow, what a sight.
That's awesome, man. I'm proud that I'm his dad. So he's a good kid. My son Dalen is an amazing kid, and they're just fun, man. You know how it is, Henry. When you get to spend time with your kids and do something that you love together, there's no better feeling than that.
The highlight of my life, AJ,
Yeah,
really. And then when Aaron was playing, I was broadcasting at the
yeah,
same time. And many of his games I got to broadcast.
yeah.
So I get to yell at the referees through the microphone
That's right, man.
and get on
Aaron
your
was a good
case.
player.
If I thought you fouled him, I'd be yelling through the microphone.
That's right. Letting the whole state know, huh?
Amen. No, I really mean it though. I hope you do coach someday. Um, your little guy at that age, that's what I wanted to talk about. And I noticed he's like a sponge. All those kids were. I mean, what an exciting game for them to play. A last second buzzer beater.
Yeah.
in a championship game, I don't care what level that happens, you don't get many buzzer beater opportunities. And yesterday, your team got one. The
Yeah,
effect.
yeah, that's what I mean. Is, we said earlier, it's, you don't have the opportunity to do that very often, and a lot of times those shots don't go in. And so that's something that Dion is never going to forget, and it's just going to help him build his confidence. And all those kids, they battled hard on both sides. Flight Force played really well too, and so it was just it's fun to see kids competing on a high level, having good sportsmanship, working together, and then when you get an opportunity to hit knock down last second shot, everyone goes crazy. I mean, that's what basketball is all about.
What was the final? 36-34.
I think it was 36-35. I think it was one
Wow.
game. I think so, or two. Yeah, I don't know, but it was good. Yeah, I think it was
What
36
I want to
34.
talk
Right.
about is grades and character. So many youngsters are going to watch your interview on this podcast. Mom and dad are going to say, you got to listen to AJ, especially on this point. Good character, grades, being that special citizen on campus and off campus too. The responsibility laid out to the youngsters today. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean that's what we talked about earlier. The good thing about sports and basketball in general is that gives you an opportunity to develop as a person. You learn, how to be, have time management, how to work within a group, how to sacrifice, how to, fail and bounce back from that. And, taking care of your schoolwork is number one that you need to do to be able to allow everything else to happen. And then just being a good person and being a helpful teammate and, helping people develop just like they helped you develop is important. And so, sports can do so many wonderful things for kids, and obviously I was a big part of that, and I got to live, live that life, and sports helped me tremendously. And now, young kids are getting opportunity to do that as well, and they just have to enjoy it. The one thing I tell kids out there is enjoy it, like have fun, don't stress. Things can be too serious sometimes now, and enjoy your ride and just have fun with your friends, work hard, and try to achieve your goals.
Let's go to the other side of that question. If you don't have good character, you can play ball, oh my goodness, but you don't have the good grades and you don't personify the great character skills. Yes, sir, no, sir, being polite, being courteous, whatever it is that involves character. If you don't have good character, then what's in store for the athlete?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're talking about going to play, even in high school or beyond, I mean, coaches, that's what they look for. They look for guys with good character. They look for guys that are going to support their teammates or be a positive influence on the guys around them. And taking care of your grades is not only for you, but you're for your team. You have a responsibility not only to yourself to do well, but also for your teammates to make sure that you're available to play in the games. And so, a good attitude, hard work, and taking care of your grades will get you a long way. Coaches look for all three of those things. If there's a guy that's similar talent to you and he has good grades and you don't, I mean, who are they going to take? Obviously, they're going to take the kid with a positive attitude and good grades. And so you just got to make sure that you do everything that you can to be successful and give yourself an opportunity, to play as long as you want to play.
Did you ever experience one of those athletes who meant well, but he made some mistakes with his character along the way? And consequently, he didn't get the opportunity because it was between him and this guy, and he had some bad marks in his character, and the disappointment that day hurt him, and he really felt the hurt. Did you ever run into that situation?
Well, I've seen that happen to players before, but like you said, sometimes people fall down, and sometimes you go through tough times, you make some bad decisions. The good thing about sports is you usually get a second chance, to bounce back from those things. And coaches are some of the most influential people, that can be in a kid's life. And so you don't quit on kids just because they're having an issue, or they mess up on their grades one time, or they're going through something at home. You just try to support them through that, because I've seen it a lot of times where kids are struggling, and then one day that light bulb just kicks on, and boom, they're a different kid. And you just got to stick with them, support them, and give them an opportunity to grow from mistakes.
Couple of more questions. The F word, fun factor. How much fun is it to play at the level that you played versus how much fun is it compared to Arizona and an experience yesterday for sixth graders? The game is fun. What's the difference between yesterday and winning the national championship?
To be honest, it was about the same feeling, man. I think that's the thing. Is when I was playing, it was a great feeling, but to watch your kids play is just a different thing. You know what I mean? And so, seeing kids have success and like that is something that is exciting, and it's just fun. Like you said, smiling, had a good time. When you're playing, like you're in it, and you're intense, and you don't get to enjoy it as much as when you're watching. It's a little bit different experience, but both are amazing, times for me. But yesterday was definitely fresh in my mind, so it was cool, man.
Well, your son had the assist, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's big to have the visual. Where am I going? Peripheral vision. There's my man. Bang. Hit him with a chest pass right there. And 3 seconds, 2 seconds, it's in the air. Boom. Wow, what a feeling, AJ.
Yeah, it was special, Henry. I was happy that you were there. Thanks for being there to be able to put that on for people to watch. It's a special thing. You've done an incredible job all these years of really putting a positive light on our kids over all these generations. And we've needed people like you that support the community, and you've just done an amazing job, man. You've always supported me, so I appreciate you.
God bless you. But I was mad at you, man, those nights that Sandia and La Cueva played, and you beat us with a three, or you beat us with a dunk, or whatever. Man, you'd always get fired up for the Matadors.
We had some great games in San Diego, man, no doubt. We had some good battles back in the day.
As we come to the end of our interview, first of all, thank you. For me to ask you yesterday, and I'd say, wow, AJ Stewart remembers Henry T.
Yeah, you're a legend, man. Come on.
I'm elated right there. But for you to be on my show today, man, that's a blessing and a half, because you're blessing thousands of people out there right now. AJ's with Henry T today. Wow, let's tune in. That's an amazing thought for me, but it's the reality. All I can say is thank you, AJ Bramlett.
Anytime, Henry. You know it, man. I appreciate you a lot. So keep doing what you're doing.
How about your future, immediate future? What are they going to sign you to another contract?
Those days are long gone, man.
How do you
Those
stay
days,
in shape? How do you stay in shape? Seriously.
try to, yeah. I haven't played in a year because of the COVID, but get out there with the kids and still go shoot, work out, train kids, and stay in shape that way. But definitely not the same as it was back in the day, man. Those days are done.
Do you have reunions with your Arizona Wildcats?
We do. We haven't in a couple of years, but I know we're already planning one. With Coach Olson passing, this past year, and everything that's gone on with COVID. Once it calms down, we're all going to get together in Tucson and kind of celebrate Coach's life and get back together, because it's a really good group of guys. It's a family over there.
Fantastic. We're going to say bye, but again, a huge thank you. And I hope that I get the opportunity of watching you and Drew again. How big is he going to be?
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think, maybe 6'5" or so, hopefully. But we'll see. Right now he's just developing, enjoying it, and he'll sprout up there at some point.
Who's the better ball handler, little Drew or Dad?
No contest. It's Drew, for sure.
Who's quicker, Drew or Dad right now?
Drew. Again, no contest.
He's learning the fundamentals of, or the mandates that you got to be in shape.
Yes.
Practice your skills. How much of that is in Drew right now?
Yeah, I mean, he's like I said, he's been putting a lot of work in, and coming back from COVID, where the kids weren't doing much, for a long time, it was kind of rusty, and it's starting to come out and play better now, and just have fun, man. That's all it is getting out there, being active, living a good lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, and trying to compete. It's a good balance of life for young people. So I'm happy to be able to do it with them.
Thank you. God bless you, AJ Bramlett. We'll see you real soon.
All right, Henry. Appreciate it, man. You have a good day.
Take care, buddy.
See you.
Wow. AJ Bramlett on the Henry T Show. Spread the word. And you can watch it over and over. Yeah. Henry T. Game Face Live right here. And I'll tell you what, I haven't seen AJ for a while, but I'll never forget the way he made his mark wherever he was throughout the course of progress in his life. He was always humble. He was always happy. He was always helpful. And he was a great teammate. And man, could he bring it. Could he ever play the game. He played with enthusiasm, and he played it with that love that you got to have for the game. You heard the expression, for the love of the game. He had it. I'd say thank you to our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Amastory Drywall, look at them right there. Indigo Mortgage, Ben Lucero, Kevin at the Canteen, Richie Tabbitt at Racks, and look at that, Hydro Bar, Tim Baca, Tim and Julie out there, and Tim Jr. Boy, that's delicious water. Ooh. And next show, Wednesday, we're going to show you a machine that Jimmy Tran, our producer, has that's going to fire you up about being healthy during this COVID time. And you're going to want to buy one. That's for sure. Have a great day. This is Gov TV, Comcast 26, ProView Networks, and Henry T. Facebook. Wow. It's all over the place. Thanks for watching. Jimmy, greatest producer of all time. Have a great day, and we'll see you real soon. Thank you for watching.